Before I start the colonoscopy awareness edition of the Tom Kelly Show, this is a special shout out to our listener, Pedro, who said, hey, Tom, you need a big opening for the show. I have a big video opening, Pedro. Look at this. Here we go.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody,
look at this. There's graphics moving. It's fun. It's big.
I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
Here we go. Trigger warning. Spoiler alert. Today's show is going straight up the poop chute. You are experiencing a backdoor edition of the Tom Kelly Show. I had my first colonoscopy. People look at me. I'm alive. I might even seem a little more vibrant. Get ready for all of the backdoor corniness, people, okay? We are going where no man has gone before, and that's straight up my colon, people. Today on the Tom Kelly Show. Have I burned out all of the good jokes yet? You know what? I don't think so. I'm going to use this phrase later, but I want to do the jokes early in the show. Half of doing a colonoscopy, people, is all about mixing yourself a Miralax with Gatorade, and you take the Ducalax pills, and basically you mix yourself a poop roofie. And I've thought about this song the whole time. The Rock Lobster, B-52s. Poop roofie. Poop roofie. Okay, that's neat. I got that out of my system, people, as, yeah, and there you go. So, and by the way, folks, if you're trick-or-treating here at the Kelly House, I will be giving out Halloween treats laced as with laxatives. Yes, take that, America. See if anybody comes to my door next year. Poop roofies going around. So this is the second attempt at taping the show with the green screen behind me, and just as I put up the green screen, then my sister-in-law gives me a call and says, hey, Tom, want to come out to Long Island and have dinner with the family? And of course I do. I just wanted 2 hours more notice on that because I want to get a Sunday night show done, and I want to get this show done because it's smart. It's been weighing on me. Why have I been talking so much about my colonoscopy? On the noble front, I've been talking about getting a colonoscopy and the importance of it because I want to use my star power and influencer status to get you, America, to do the right thing for yourselves medically. And the second reason why I am talking about my colonoscopy in public, it's because you people, my Instagram fans, like more of my stuff when I'm having surgery than when I'm talking about my actual stand-up comedy. I mean, geez, people, the difference in the numbers on me sharing a colonoscopy status and a podcast promo. A podcast promo, a clip of me being funny and sharing something I care about. Normally, I think 200 views. Let's make it that, just to make it easy. My colonoscopy, 3,000 views by the end of it. I don't know if I screenshotted it, okay? And so just shout outs to friends who never ever look at or like my stuff. Shout outs to Caitlin, shout outs to Laura, shout out to Ashley, shout out to Bridget, shout out to, who else? Karen, shout out to a bunch of good people who apparently will only hit like on my products when I am jamming a camera up my tuchus, okay? And yeah, so why not, people? If talking about cameras going up my butthole is what it takes to get you people to listen, I am there. Now, I did not... I was going to take the iPhone and broadcast, all of the steps that went into this. And I did not for two reasons. One, I was genuinely nervous. Two, Joan Rivers died while being funny during home office surgery. And there you go. So, and I'll give you the punchline up front. I'm fine, people. I have hemorrhoids. That's the only thing that came out of this. But I am cancer-free, and I do not need to do a colonoscopy again for 5 more years. Now, at least 5 years. And we'll check in with my doctor. We'll check in with Dr. Fox News about when I need my colonoscopy again at another time. But I am 5 years at least is what the colonoscopist said, or whatever the hell he was. I really should know what kind of... Actually, and there you go. That's the moment right there where you know you shouldn't take medical advice from comedians. I'm calling I believe it's internal medicine guy. Here we go. Hang on for a second. What kind of doctor does colonoscopies?
Here's what I found.
There you go. Gastroenterologist, okay? And by the way, that's the difference between the Tom Kelly Show and the Joe Rogan experiences. Say what you want about Joe Rogan giving out medical advice. At least he probably can say gastroenterologist. So there you go. But listen, I got it. Why did I get it? Because Dr. Fox News on one of my quarterly visits says, hey, Tom, they have lowered the recommended age for a colonoscopy from 50 to 45. And I did the research. Deaths of people under 55 from colon cancer has been going up 1% a year, even though overall colorectal cancer rates are dropping. And colorectal cancer is treatable when found early. And again, Tom Kelly, not a doctor, barely even a comedian and podcaster, if you've seen the effort that has gone into the show today. But I am your friend who went through it, and I was genuinely nervous because, and I guess another big punchline I'm going to give you guys is it's not as scary as you think it would be, nor is it as easy as some of your other friends will tell you. And turns out, once I started talking about this out loud, and I am, in my own way, destigmatizing colonoscopies, with my own small audience. I remember when Rosie O'Donnell would talk about breast cancer in the 90s, and it was like, ooh, breasts, ooh, breasts, sexual. In my own way, I'm doing this here. Like, I mean, and you talk about how we don't talk about the colon because poop comes out of there. I didn't realize women were also at high risk for colorectal cancer. So hopefully the women listening to the show will do something with this too. Now, hard part is it's so routine. It's a big deal to you, and it's a routine part of everybody else's day. The hard part is you go in, you meet the doctor, and then you make an appointment for probably a month out. Okay, and that's what I did. And then they give you what I like to call the shit sheet. Okay, it's all the things you're supposed to do before your colonoscopy to cleanse out the pipes. And that's the big thing. For those of you who are wondering, it's not just the thing going up your hiney. That's the fun part. No, what it's all about is cleaning the pipes so they can get the camera up there and see what's going on. And apparently, if they find polyps that may or may not be cancerous, the part of this little camera can zap them and kill the polyps right there. And I don't know if it can take biopsies while it's in there too. But what basically it goes in and it's got a little laser, and they could get the things. And again, go to a real doctor for advice. I'm just a comedian sharing his own personal experience. First thing I'm going to tell you to do, which is the first mistake I made, if you are going for a colonoscopy, okay, set a reminder for 8 days before your procedure to look at the shit sheet, okay? And listen, the people you call on the phone at the doctor's office, they're pleasant, but they're Long Island medical assistants. And, they've seen it all before. They stopped caring years ago. It's all Tinas and Kathys and Karens who are nice enough, but they're kind of numb to it. It's, basically the answer is, it's all on the sheet, honey. It's all on the sheet, honey. It's all on the sheet, honey. Okay, and honestly, I don't work well with sheets. Okay, I told this joke on the last podcast. I've told this joke to anybody who'd listen. Getting ready for your colonoscopy is like putting together IKEA furniture. And the problem is you do not know if the IKEA furniture is put together until after you have had anesthesia, had a camera jammed up your ass, and then wake up. You don't know if you did a good job. And yeah, basically you're slipping yourself your poop roofie until you just keep pooping. And the problem is you don't know if you've really cleaned out the pipes until after the procedure is over. And that's the part that drove me crazy. I mean, listen, I'm freewheeling. I'm a riffer. Even for this podcast, Pedro is telling me, hey, Tom, you need to make it bigger. You need to do this. You need to do that. Setting up this damn camera is 20 minutes of work. And it's step one, step two, and you mess up one step, the sound doesn't work on the damn camera. Now I'm dealing with an actual medical procedure covered by insurance, covered by this, covered by that. It drives you crazy. It's the anxiety. It's not the procedure. It's the anxiety you put into it. So they give you on my shit sheet, they give you a list of things you're supposed to do 5 days prior. You're supposed to buy 238-gram bottle of Miralax. And then you're supposed to buy 64 ounces of Gatorade. Problem was they didn't have the big jug at my store, so I had to buy 228-ounce bottles. 28 plus 28, 64. Actually, is it? Hang on for a second. What is 28 times 2?
That would be 56.
So that's a mistake I'm realizing I just made a week later. Luckily, I kind of sensed I was making that mistake. Ooh, see, there you go, people. I'm not good at math. I mean, seriously, I'm 6 days after the procedure and just realized I made a big mistake, and then I started eyeballing things. And like another mistake I made. So anyway, I wound up buying all this stuff the day before. I didn't read the 5-day prior thing. Thank God our listener, Marianne Stelmagic, told me to lay off the red foods and to lay off nuts, and she told me to lay off quinoa. Okay, and they actually have this in the thing. Refrain from eating seeds or nuts. Failure to do so can result in inadequate bowel cleansing. So I went out shopping the day before. I decided to do the prep here in the apartment. And again, reading instructions I am not good at. I went out and bought all this stuff, and then I got home and realized, and there's nobody at CVS to help you, especially in New York City. Everything's like behind a lock and a key, and these kids don't know anything about anything. I wound up buying Ducalax laxative suppositories instead of the pills I was supposed to take. Don't ask me how I found out. I bought the wrong things. I read it last minute, and I know what a suppository is, barely. Okay, so then I went to, and I'm going to start going there more often, I went to the mom and pop drugstore down the block from me. And I said, screw it, I'll pay 3 times for everything because I needed somebody to point and hand me things. And luckily, my instincts were correct that something was wrong, that 2 of these was not 64 ounces. But I mixed. So then what they have you do is you pour in the Gatorade into your pitcher. And then the problem with the Miralax jug is it tells you, just put in, and then it tells you to mix half of the, and this is where it gets into. Then 1 day prior to the procedure, no solid food or milk products. Okay. You will only be allowed clear liquids for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Then clear. So the first part of it is on the day of the cleanse. You just wake up and it's no more eating, just drinking water, broth, and Jell-O. Fine. You can have coffee and tea. Thank God. Just no milk or creamer. And then you may also have, Jell-O. And It tells you non-colored soft drinks, which is like what, Sprite? I don't know. But 4 o'clock, this is where my day starts falling apart. And I actually kept a little log here. And if my friend Kevin Lamoureux is listening, one of my 2 freshman year roommates, we used to keep a record of poops we were taking to annoy our other roommate, Sean, and we used to call it the log. So here I am now at age 46, 25 years later, and I created a log. 8 o'clock a.m., day before the procedure. I took a good poop this morning. Do I really need to clear my bowels? What else can be up there? 10:18, I've been awake for 90 minutes and have not had food. Noon, stressful work call on a day I am starving myself. Yeah, somebody from one of my comedy experiences called me up to tell me I wasn't funny on something. It was somebody who unsolicited opinion. And anyway, then at 2 o'clock, unsolicited opinion, my friend Cindy sends me a text. Cindy, who listens to the podcast, Cindy Sorensen, Barkley, our good friend, says, Tom, you're going to wake up in a room with 30 people farting behind curtains. I did not appreciate or need that at that point, even though she was being supportive. But I just, at this point, again, I'm neurotic at this point. I'm neurotic. 4:30 p.m., realized I bought suppositories instead of laxatives. Need to run out and buy new laxatives. I'm now, I think, 1 hour behind schedule. 5 o'clock, I'm 1 hour behind on prep, debating taking an extra laxative. Then at 6 o'clock, I dumped half of this bottle. And the other thing is you're supposed to dump half of this bottle into 64 ounces of Gatorade. The problem with this bottle is it's not see-through. You can't tell if the problem with the Miralax bottle is, and again, Miralax is just, imagine Kool-Aid powder that makes you poop. The problem is you can't look through half of this bottle. Half of this bottle, how do you tell what's half? You're judging by weight. And then if you open it up, people, and if you open it up, poop roofie. Okay, and now look, and it's there we go. And then they have this like cover, so you can't even like eyeball to see how much is in there because it has this like little pour safe thing at the top that you can't pop out. Anyway, again, I'm by myself. I don't do this stuff often. Do I need a home health aide for this stuff? I don't know, maybe, but I'm getting kind of nuts. And then another friend of mine says, well, Tom, why don't you use a baking scale? And I'm like, hi, I am a 46-year-old bachelor, damn it. I do not have a baking scale in this place at all. I don't have little size cups. I just work at Rachel Ray 2 days a week, people. I am not getting myself little sizey thingies. And and honestly, those are all things that will probably help your experience. Get yourself measuring cups and also learn how to multiply by 2, people, okay? That's another big one. Again, who'd have thought 28 times 2, 56, not 64. Oops. So luckily, I'll throw in a quick third story here. Luckily, my friend Chris Delenick, who you've heard about him on the podcast before, he's my friend who encouraged me to go up to Maine. Thank God he called me, okay? And he calls me up and he says, hey, Tom, why don't you calm the F down? And, like, it's funny because I'm sitting there after a couple of hours and I'm like, have any of these pills worked? Am I pooping? The pipes are not running. And he told me a story about friends of his family. We'll call them Uncle Fred and Aunt Fran. Uncle Fred and Aunt Fran go out and they decide to schedule his and her colonoscopies because they feel like as an older 70-something-year-old married couple, that would be easier. And if you think about it, it does sound more efficient. Only one, you could do it both at the same time. You only need one kid to pick you up, and then you could do the prep together. I mean, if you're measuring the stuff, why not have a colonoscopy party. And actually, if you listen to Martin Short and Steve Martin on Howard Stern, they talked about having a colonoscopy party. I don't know if they really did it or not, but imagine like 5 or 6 men just scheduling them all at the same time. And then you could play cards. And the joke was that they played cards while waiting for the poop wave to come. Well, Uncle Fred and Aunt Fran, what they do is they both, do wave 1 of the prep. And they're like, yep, nothing's happening. Why don't we go to Walmart? We need some stuff at Walmart. And God bless them. That's when the wave came. At Walmart. They had to go to the bathroom. He would not elaborate on what happened after that, but that's when the wave came. Luckily, they were at Walmart. You could buy extra underwear. Now, I don't know if that's what happened, but that's what my imagination is telling me what happened. But back to me, and it's funny, while he was saying, hey, Tom, while Chris was saying, hey, Tom, just hang on, don't go out, that wave will come. What Chris may not know is I pooped 3 or 4 times on the phone. Now, they tell you then the next day to save like half the liquid for the next day. I had an instinct I was screwing up on the math. I made a little more leftovers of the poop roofie, drank that the morning. And again, as up until the finish line, I felt like I had not cleaned out the pipes. But I think you want to get yourself, this is the other thing they don't say here on the shit sheet, is you really need to get yourself to the point of where you're pooping water. And there we go. And eventually I guess I got to that point, took a risk and drove myself to the appointment from the city instead of taking public transportation. And there was a little bit of a fear on the Cross Bronx Expressway about whether or not, the pipes were cleaned or if I'd have to clean the pipes one more time. And I'm rambling a bit here. But what I'm trying to do here is, lend my star power to a cause here. And the cause is, ladies and gentlemen, go get your pipes cleaned. Go do the colonoscopy because, I feel good. The procedure wasn't that bad. I just felt a little hungover after. And, and there you go. Tom Kelly, social influencer. You let those Jenners tell you to go use the lip plumpers and the this and the that and the other thing. Me, Tom Kelly, I'm just going to tell you to go have a colonoscopy. That's the story. So, Pedro, I hope this opening was big enough for you. This is me, Tom Kelly, the sound of me ripping up the shit sheet, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have a couple of good guests coming on over the next couple of days. I'm going to try to rush out and go see my nephews and in-laws before I finish this whole program here. And new shows on Sundays and Tuesdays and maybe bigger things coming down the pipe, including a few very interesting interviews. And I think this is the time, people. Listen, today with this show, I'm going to give you a very specific ask, which is share this with a friend who might be shy about getting a colonoscopy. It wasn't that bad, all right? That's the moral of the story, people. It wasn't that bad. There you go. Share and that's the thing. If you're watching a YouTube link, post a YouTube and then tag 2 or 3 friends that could use a little encouragement to go get their colonoscopies. And that's about it, people. Magic mirror time. I see all of the people who have just been supportive during this. I see Cindy. I see Cindy. I see Marianne. I see Chris. And most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I see you. I'm doing a lot of stuff on TikTok, a little stuff on Instagram. Go do some appointment television and go hit like on my stuff there. If you can find me, I'm Tom Kelly Show across the board on social media. And whenever you can show love where love can be shown, I appreciate it. And until next time, friends, good night, Astoria. Poop Roofie. Poop roofie.